All right, hello everyone, and so let's start today's session, which is the Wednesday, is about AI and technology. In my last video, I talk about Google strategy, and it's not just Google, but what's happening with in the world of AI, and probably what we should do as a community to build the alternative. So it is not just a technological problem, it is also a business, financial, community, and philosophical problem that we need to address together and work together to build this alternative. I see there are some new people. The session works in this way. Okay, if you want to say something, if you want to introduce yourself, try to stay on the topic. Okay, but
Sorry.
you feel free also to share whatever you think is important to share. Okay, I see. So there are some new people, but now I'm really curious because there is again this name that I'm struggling pronouncing, but Anjanaya, whatever. Sorry,
Yeah, you can Anjaneya. You got me.
Anjanaya.
You got
Okay,
it. Yeah, yeah.
nice to meet you, Anjanaya. Please feel free to introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, why you're here, where you're based, where everything.
So Manolo, I just saw some of your YouTube videos, and they were really great. And I've been playing with a lot of local MLX-based LLMs ever since they got released. And just like you, I gave up coding in maybe 25 years ago. But this year, thanks to Vibe coding, I have written at least 500,000 lines of code. And so that was the resonance point when you said the same thing in a recent video of yours. So I thought, let me check this guy out. And sure enough, this seems to be a great, vibrant community. So looking forward to it. As far as my background is concerned, I am a solution architect at AT&T here in Atlanta.
Nice. Nice to have you here. There is a lot of us that is kind of keep coming back. So I know those faces, but there is a few new ones. So which would be nice to know each other. And so if you feel like sharing something, please do it. And I see Pascal, your microphone is working now. Camera is on. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name's Pascal. I'm um, a librarian in Canada, and I have some experience with coding. I taught myself Perl to do CGI scripting. Uh, you know, back in the '90s at the dawn of the web, and it feels like we kind of have the same sense of possibility with AI now that we did back in those times in the early to mid '90s. And I started last fall with Gemini, just seeing if it could help me with a Python script to help me load scholarly papers into our institutional repository at work because I had thousands that I needed to load into the new platform that we moved to, which was open source. We moved from a proprietary platform to open source one. And I just started giving, Gemini some ideas of what I wanted. I had a very clear sense of what the guardrails were, what the constraints were, what I wanted the output to look like. Um, and over maybe 80 hours, over a few months, I developed this application and I eventually released it as my first open source software that I've ever gotten far enough that I thought it would be valuable for someone else. So, and I saw some of Manolo's videos, and I really liked what you're doing. I'm going to take a sabbatical starting in January and look at local LLMs to possibly be of use in our library because we have lots of data that we don't want to lose and have the commercial models incorporate that into uh, their corpus for various reasons, you know. And the other problem that we have with corporate LLMs now is there's no attribution. So LLMs are basing their knowledge base on the backs of authors who've taken the time to write based on their experience and their expertise, and there's no
Recognition, yeah.
it doesn't even matter for remuneration, but the fact that people have put their hard work, and then OpenAI and such just come along and use this to train their models it's a real problem, I think. Thanks.
Uh, Thank you, Pascal. And feel free to share in the chat the link of your GitHub, your open source first software, which is an amazing achievement. Um, I just
Thanks
want
for
to say
sharing
this this thing about the problem of attribution to authors. Okay, first of all, it's totally wrong the stealing the data from creatives and then use it to train AI without paying them, without asking permission, without anything. Okay, but once past the element, once the data is inside AI, it's not like. You can recognize, I mean, only in a few cases you can recognize the contribution of a specific authors. But most of the time, even when you write a sentence, behind a sentence, maybe there is 2,000 books. You know what I mean? So it's basically, even if you say, look, this is the people where we took the inspiration from, and then it's 2,000 names. Nobody's gonna read them. Okay, it's become kind of impossible. The same problem happened with music. With music, it's so evident. Okay, so you hear something, some song, and say, okay, but where did you take this? Yeah, 300,000 artists, songs. Okay, that is the idea. So become basically impossible, technically impossible, even for us. It doesn't make sense anymore to read a list that is almost unlimited. Okay, so it's really complex as a problem, but nevertheless, there is a problem there. Anyway, let's start, unless someone else want to add anything.
I can maybe briefly introduce myself.
Yes, please.
Since I'm first time here. So my name is Dominic. I will probably visit from time to time. I'm a WordPress developer from Croatia. So happy to be here. Yeah, I work in agency and I have my small business on the side. Always spreading my horizon, heavily utilizing LLMs at this point, both commercial ones and trying to focus a little bit on local. And that's it.
Thank you, Dominic, and happy to have you here. Vlad, you left a comment, I believe it was you, right? On general, talking about some question that you had, something that you wanted to talk in this chat. Was it you, correct? Vlad, you there?
I think it was him. Yeah, was you,
It was
Vlad.
him, right?
Sorry.
It's pretending not to be him. So, are you busy? Are you distracted? Or
Yeah, sorry. I was reading something great, but
it's
can
it's
you repeat?
It's okay. No, my question it feels like being at school, you know? Are you being distracted? Are you following the lesson? So no, I would say that you left a couple of comments in the general chat of the Discord, and you had some questions, something that you wanted to talk. So I was inviting you to present your point of view, what you wanted to say in this chat, so we can start the discussion. And
Okay.
unless you're busy
No,
doing
no, no, I'm
something
not
else,
busy.
okay, uh,
So,
go ahead.
yeah, I've thought on after watching your video that the problem or the question that we have is how the Resonant OS should develop for in a sense of what should be basic capabilities of the Resonant OS? How will we handle the governance of updating and developing new capabilities? And because the thing is, right now we have, for example, a memory system that does something in a certain way. How we decide that we are gonna develop a new one or adopt a new one that someone developed it and is open sourced. So, and this goes for almost all features inside of it. And raises the question how we adopt patterns and workflows inside of it if we offer some basic capabilities and then everything else is add-ons, or we offer a possibility of testing, seeing the performance and then adopting as a whole platform thing. So I think we need to try to describe this governance around the capabilities.
Yes. So let's start with showing. First, I want to show a little bit the what is. Uh, Sorry, let me just find what is Resonant OS. There's a few new people, so I want them to actually at least see what we're talking about. And so I'm gonna share the screen so we can have a quick look and then talk about those things that you ask. Share screen is this one, yes. Okay, so this is Resonant OS. I'm gonna put it full screen and this is the software, okay? And we have at in the homepage at the moment, we have the history of our chat and our AI. Okay, so as most of interface, this one looks like, you know, the standard interface where you chat with the model. You have, of course, a new project and chats. You can, now I'm testing a few things, so I don't know, it should work. So you see what is happening, so you can have the transparency of seeing what's happening. Answer, then you can copy the message, of course, all these forking, save to memory, delete, and so on. Okay, all those functionality, plus the ability to manage and control what is happening in the context window, what is inside the context window, but also force the compaction and edit what is inside the compaction, okay, the summary that is going to be created. As well as have a proper monitoring of what is going on. When you, I'm not going to go into the details, okay, but you can choose a lot of different models, including a local model and so on. So what we are building here is not just another chatbot. This is the chatbot that we own and it should be the one that we trust. So most of us has been building the exact same thing, okay, trying to resolve exactly the same thing, which is the memory and so on. But including a company like I call it company, but maybe it's not the right name, but company like OpenClaw and Hermes, they're all in somehow, we are all building, both as a company, as an individual, to resolve this exactly same problem. Building at the end an AI that you own, have sovereignty on, so you can change it, and you can trust. Now, how we do this is, of course, we need to have an interface with it, but then it's also about the memory. Now, Vlad was talking about how do we manage this whole thing? So at the moment, ResonantOS works with a series of add-ons. Okay, so we have everything that is potentially an add-on, including the chat that I just showed, the memory system, but also other add-ons like Hermes is part of the add-ons. Okay, so if I click to Hermes now, and if it opens, yeah, it's opening. This is Hermes. This is the workspace. So now the chat move on the side. Now we have the workspace. The chat can be swapped with the workspace, but this is how it works. Okay, so now we can have different workspace like the browser, the open code, the terminal. I create my own another add-on. Let me hide the history so you can see. So you, as a community, you can create basically add-ons for this Resonant OS. But what is, and sorry, just to show a little bit more, there is of course, it's going to change the graphic, but this is kind of the App Store, okay, where you can find the different add-ons, can turn them on and off. So that is what it looks like. But, and again, the graphic can be improved, customized, and so on. But what is the principle here? What's the philosophy? So instead of keep each one of us building exactly the same product, we should build it once and we own as a community. But what we should still give to everybody is the sovereignty of changing it. So every single part, from the chat that I show at the beginning, from this chat to every single add-on, you can turn it on and off or replace. So you want a different memory, you replace the included add-on of the memory with a memory that you created. Everything should be possible for you to customize. But if you don't want to customize, there is the community add-ons created that some are going to be turned on by default and be included by default with Resonant OS. Some others are you're gonna go to the store and download, turn it on, whatever. Okay, so you as a community can build your own add-on. Why this architecture? It is because now, instead of keep everyone focus on, like I said in the videos today, everybody being focused on building the first layer and struggling building this first layer, okay, we all build one first layer that we have total control, total sovereignty, and total ability to customize, but then we can start working in groups and build the next parts, okay, which is what Google show us at the Google I/O. Okay, they start to create an insane amount of new tools, capabilities, and so on. Okay, which my Google Home started. Come on, I can't say Google anymore. No, it's not the music. I mean, hold on, hold on a second. It's going crazy. Okay. Um, he started a song called. Am I still on? Yeah, he started a song called "Insane" just because I used the word "insane" and Google together. Anyway, so I hope it makes sense what I think we should build as a community. And for those again that are new, this is run by a DAO, okay, a decentralized autonomous organization. And therefore, everybody that contribute, everybody that wants to use this app, become co-owner of the app. Okay, so we are not say you need to use my app. No, no. You join, you participate, you own it. Okay, so the business model is completely different. It's not you become a user, you become a co-owner of the product. And now, as a co-owner, you can decide as a community to where this direction, what we should build, how we should use it, what we should implement, everything else. Okay, but there is a philosophy behind here, which is the philosophy of augmentatism, which the goal here is to build an AI that augment us and not replace, even though we can have agents that do total automation, but we don't build only total automation. We build an AI. It's called at the moment I call the main agent. I called it augmenter, an AI that augment our abilities. And the second element is now I got distracted by myself. But the second element is the DAO of basically we build a financial economy. Sorry, I was talking about about the argumentatism. The second part is the law of anti-capture. Okay, like I show in the video today, I was talking about the business model of all those corporations is the one to capture your sovereignty. And somehow they want to have to own your data. Okay, so block you within their ecosystem. So because of convenience, because it's cheap, because it's easy, because it's you already have your phone, already in your phone and so on. It's in everything. So for you, it's become so easy that you carry on working with them. You start sharing more and more. You become more and more dependent by their infrastructure, software, and so on. And then you are being captured by them. So we build the opposite, okay? The anti-capture. We don't want to capture. We don't want to limit. We want everybody to be sovereign about the software, what they want to do with it, and the data, and so on. Okay, so to a level that you own it. It's the opposite of capturing, okay? Because you own it. That is the direction. So regarding now what you were saying, Vlad, what we should build is the minimum requirement for everybody to have like this argumento. Okay, argumento is the one AI that we can trust. And what is happening when I want to, for example, work with Hermes, I can go on Hermes. Okay, I can click on Hermes, go here, chat with it, and do all the work with Hermes if I want to. That is the sovereignty, okay? That is I'm not capturing you to use only the Augmento. You can do whatever you want with whatever add-ons, okay? But if you don't want to talk with Hermes, but you want to use Hermes, you talk with your Augmentor and use the Augmentor to delegate to Hermes. Okay, and because the augmenter has this idea of sovereignty, it's gonna only delegate what is required to do the work. So Hermes, as but could be also Codex, can be a Gemini, whatever app from Google. The augmenter will use those apps and just give the minimum requirement for them to work. Not all your data, not all your information. Okay, that is how I see we can do it. So for the governance of how we work at the moment, the governance is really, yes, there is not many of us. It's mainly we meet on those calls, we chat, we discuss, we find an agreement. But what we are building in the background are some add-ons that are missing, okay? Those add-ons are the one of the DAO. Is the one that allow the DAO actually to exist. So the DAO has a proper structure, and I'm gonna stop sharing and finding a couple of links that I want to share with you. So there is a proper structure of how the DAO works, which is on resonantDAO.com. And this is an under construction website, okay? I could share the screen and show you, but I'm gonna give you the link. And on this website, there is the white paper. So I invite everybody to read the white paper so you have a clear idea of how it works the DAO. So within the DAO, what we can do is we can vote, promote ideas, okay, and say, okay, this is the idea, this is what I would like to do. Now, as a members, we can vote it. We will structure in a way that we're not gonna get stuck waiting for people, because waiting is how you kill things. Okay, so it's gonna be like voting. There is gonna be a window of time for voting to make decision, then move on. And to avoid any risk of getting stuck, the DAO works with custodians. Custodians are the one that take the responsibility of checking that the work that the DAO is doing is in line with the philosophy of the manifesto. Okay, and the manifesto, I'm going to give the link to this one as well, is the augmentatism. Augmentatism.com. Okay, gonna share this one in the chat as well. Got lost. That is the job of the custodian, okay? Through those elements, we can align ourselves, the governance, and so on, so we can vote and so on. And we have the custodians that at the moment I'm the only custodian for safety reason, and we can discuss about why there is this need. But in the future, they're gonna grow, okay? And we're gonna follow the prime numbers, so we're gonna go to 3, 5, 7, and so on, okay? And keep growing to cover the diversity and the size of the community. So they're going to be in different parts of the world and so on. Okay, that that is the idea. Did I answer to your question, Vlad, or do you want me to go more deeper? You have more things.
No, I think that's it. It's just a matter of deciding what is basic, and then we go from there, I think.
Yes. So the first part is the hardest one, okay? When we need to finalize the minimum requirement for this app to work. Okay, once that one is solid, then we can start your own, extra elements. Okay, again, I'm just referring to Google because that is what is happening just in these days during this Google I/O. You see how many tools they created. Now, there is two things. Okay, first of all, show that we shouldn't not stop just to the basic level, but we can go into other uh, uh, area of development, but we can only do once we have the basic layer. And every single one of us is stuck to this basic layer because it's not easy and it takes time and you work as a single person, so it's never ending. Instead, we put together and say, okay, by doing this, I learn that these elements is important. Okay, we put the best of each one intelligence, okay, each one experience, and say, let's add all those elements within one single system, okay, which the user can even turn on and off. Okay, and we say, for example, those must be on by default. Those other elements can be turned on by the advanced users, whatever. Okay, so it can be a lot of different things. But once we have the kind of AI, and just to give you an example, okay, for example, all those icons, some people need it, some people will find it confusing. Okay, it can be a feature that can be on and off. Okay, just to give an example. So there is part that can be visually, so you can have different skins for this system. At the moment, there is only this one. Okay, but we can create different skins and have different graphics. And different functionality. So once we have that part sort out, and then you know, I think we can do really amazing. At the moment, there is a Tom working on the website. Sorry, not website. The browser. So which is another add-on. We need the browser to work because it's required for two things. Okay, one, allow the augmenter actually to navigate the internet and take action within the a browser, but also because of the DAO works through internet. So we need to connect the wallet to the DAO, so you can do the voting, you can do everything that is needed. I'm gonna stop talking now and allow everybody to, I mean, whoever wants to add something or if there is questions and so on.
Manolo, do you mind if I add some things to
Yeah, go ahead.
show? If I could, may I share for a moment? Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead. Try to share it. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Okay.
It works.
All right. Very good. Very good. So here is the GitHub repository that we're all working from. We had an alpha version, which was a browser-based Python engine-based system, and Manolo switched over to a Torre Rust, OS native client, which is the way we needed to go. that project is now right here. That is called vNext. And in this vNext, we've got 3 distinct branches that we're working from right now. We've got a dev. This one is just a back-end piece, and then we've got a main. So the main is the one that we're pulling down. If you want to pull down code and grind it up, compile it. There's also artifacts in here if you want just the compiled version. Dev is where everyone is now pushing code, or the guys that are working on the code. We're all pushing here, and this this repo is where you can push in anything that you want to work on as far as an add-on. So the system has been redesigned to have a standard add-on structure, and that is defined in the SDK that Manolo has built. And it's very simple. Sorry, GitHub is slow. It's spinning on me. The add-on structure, if you have your agent look at the GitHub, and Manolo, can you help me find that? Let's see, where do you got that? Where is our?
What are you looking for?
The SDK document.
I think there is a docs inside docs. Maybe it is, or maybe
Docs.
I don't. I can't remember. Good question.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask AI and tell me what it is.
Here we go. All right. So here are some information, but more importantly, if you go to the add-ons, you're going to see these. This is how you contribute. Very specifically, if you have your agent working in our GitHub, and we have to be very careful about GitHub because we don't want to get into a big mess with a lot of branches and things being thrown in there, because we have to filter all this into the releases. But this is the structure for contributing, right? You're building packages that wire into the system. And again, that's here in vNext. So we've got main, dev, and ignore this one. So everyone is contributing to dev at this point. That's also what we're testing. Dev is the hottest version that has all the pushes that we are now testing. Greg, I'm sure you're thinking that right there. So this one has our pushed code. As Manolo was saying, we'd love for you to help jump in and contribute, because this is essentially the last main release, and this is hot code. There's some things in here probably broken, and also like we talked about, we need to reorganize this. Vlad, you're exactly right. Everyone, we need to have this down to kind of a MVP, minimal viable product, something that's easy to use, something to get into. But the nice thing is this is out on a hosted cloud, and hey, are you there? Hopefully he is still there. Yeah, there he is. So Augmenter is sitting there working. So this instance that I logged into using a, I'm just going to show you guys a screenshot so I don't have to go back through it. If I can find my screenshot. Sorry. Okay, so this is kind of the login, right? You get to Resonant Claw, and right now, because this thing is, all duct tape and wires, you get an invite code, and then we can kind of modulate the number of people on the server until we get this thing figured out, because we're not charging for tokens here, right? I'm just passing through. I am connected. This is connected to an OpenAI in the back end, so it is burning tokens. But the goal is to have our own system with our own AI, with our own not local but enterprise grade system where you can hit an API that's talking to Augmenter. It's not costing you anything except for electricity. That's my goal, is to have it be just electricity cost. If you do use the local version of the client app that Manolo has rolled out, if you pull that down, you will connect that to a frontier model right now. So we're kind of straddling that fence between having to use the frontier models to build our system. I'm running on Opus 4.6 a lot of times. I'm using Codex, Cursor. I'm using all of them to build the underlying system. At some point, we will cut over to just local models only. I do have a lot of local stuff running here. I'm running my TTS server. I've got sub agents that run local, but right now my brain agent is still hooked to the cloud, which is unacceptable to me long term. As you saw here, he's working. If you look at the living archive, this is the ingestion. So the technical barrier is still a little bit heavy, right? Because if you go here, in order to start feeding information into Augmenter, you've got to start doing things, right? So this is a great, easy interface, but it's still a little bit of a technical barrier, right? So what we've basically got here is a really good, trusted agent that's not stealing your data, that's hopefully at some point here not costing you any tokens, right? You just log in and we can use them. But if you want this friend to become smarter, he's trusted and he works good and he's got a good harness. But if you want him to become smarter and work with you, you'll have to start feeding him data, right? And so that's really the next step. And if I could just illustrate that, if you guys, I don't know if you guys looked in the chat, but in the chat I dropped an image earlier, and I'll just pull it up really quick. So. Sorry, should have already had it ready. So this is kind of goofy, but it illustrates some things. So I had my AI just as a test. I was like, hey, make a picture of the team, right? And this is what it made. It's AI generated. I'm not taking this is not art, right? This is just AI generated stuff. And I don't look this good, do I? Nothing like this. So I wish I did, but this is my primary agent, my augmenter, Analog 6. This is my development computer. This is my wife's computer. This is my rack. I've got some old Dell blades that actually are in my basement. ResonantOS. I've got Tandem hooked up in a sidecar. Here's my logician engine. Here's my perception engine I haven't talked to anybody about. Here's my fleet consensus engine. I'm hitting 93% on my benchmarks on my local stuff that I'm testing. Here's my local adapter system. I mean, the point is, these guys built this and it's very personalized, right? Like this is even some of my code snippets. These are all my computers. These are actually my network computers. So because I had this data built in to their memory, when I said, hey, make a picture of the team, they did it on one prompt. Imagine if you ask Claude to make a picture of the team. What does it do? Right? It doesn't know anything about you. It doesn't understand your network. When I asked, hey, another login admin system for another business system that I'm building for my friend, it knows my last project and it can go and build it. And all that data is here and it's local, right? I'm not feeding this other than talking with Claude, which I know, I mean, I hate that, but my local project information, my local network, all that stuff is here. And that's my driving goal, is to get everything local, everything private, everything on my own, because I have written 9 production grade sites for my friends over the last couple of weeks. And I've been writing software for a long time. But I've rolled 9 production grade systems, inventory systems, things that I've written over and over again in my career. Now I'm doing them like this. And I'm not going to let that superpower go away. For a developer, it's a superpower. If you're an artist or something else, I don't know how you use AI to help you write music, but for me writing code, it is just straight fire, and I can't let that go. So my goal is to enable that for me, and then also for my friends, which I consider you guys my friends, and then all of my other business friends. Like my friend is chatting with Augmenter now. I turn this on and he's like, hey, can I use Augmenter to take a PDF and add some stuff to my 1099 forms or whatever? I'm like, yeah, send it to the Augmenter. And he's like, bam. So useful AI that's trusted, and it didn't suck his data. That's all I'm trying to build. So I've got some invite keys here. Again, this is hot code, right? The browser is a monster and it's still broken, but I do have it working locally. Essentially, it's CamoFox And that one gets past the CAPTCHA, it logs into Phantom, it logs into Jupyter, which is a key element of the DAO. We need to be able to have logins through this browser, and it's also autonomous and it's private. They're not going to be able to, you got a private browser, and then you also have the Chromium-based one that Manolo built, and we're leaving that in there because sometimes you want to let the agents get identified because sometimes you need to. So you got a private browser and a regular browser. Here are the add-ons, right? So if you look in here, these are all the add-ons, and some of these are turned on, and some of them don't really work in the cloud because, I mean, you just don't have the same structure. But so here's the browser. I haven't installed it on this instance because I didn't want to break it while I was trying to demo. But you've got like the coherence gate. Here is Hermes agent, right? Here's the high heuristic editor. This is my stuff, haven't talked about yet. Here's the living archive that Manolo built, a really big part of this. Sorry, OpenClaw keeps jumping up. Here's Logician, Resonant nodes, et cetera, right? And here's another important piece, the awareness, the shield. Like these are all the things that Manolo has been working on feverishly for a while. So we can jump in now, go to this project board. We really need to have a dev meeting, not this meeting, but we need to have a dev team meeting. Whoever's going to actually help contribute, we need to sit in the meeting and build out this project board and start saying, you take this, you take this, you take this, and then we can start accelerating. This UI is, I mean, in my mind, it's not bad. Manolo, I know we want to improve it, but it's not bad. This is a great first cut. So I think I don't know if you want to call this alpha, beta, but it's working. And Manolo's code is working. So let's still call it alpha because we're moving it around. But let's jump in and start building.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, I think until we don't have a stable basic elements like the augmenter and the memory, and probably a couple and the browser for the DAO, then we should consider probably as an alpha. Also, the add-on SDK is under development. More we build add-ons, the more it's clear how we clarify the SDK and become easier for everybody to build. So I want to answer Pierre's question about the DAO. So, question one, has the DAO already been legally incorporated? No. So what we are doing at the moment, we are working on the DevNet, so we can test, learn, and improve and build everything. The plan is to go live in the last quarter of this year, but it depends on the size of the community. It depends on a few things, and we have more than one token. If you have a chance, then have a look at the Resonant DAO white paper. But the main token that we are going to use, which is swappable within the community, is called the RES token. Then we have some other token that are contribution token. Those tokens instead cannot be swapped with others. Okay, they just get collected as a sign of contribution to the user. So each wallet, basically each user will, by contributing to the community, start collecting those retribution tokens. There are more than one retribution tokens, depend on the sector. For example, if you are working a lot inside the tech team, you're going to have tech-specific retribution token. Okay, if you work in the government, something else. That is to give higher voting power within the different area of the DAO. So because the people that are expert about the code, that have been contributing about the code, should have higher voting power than the one that have been contributing, for example, with something that is not connected to that kind of infrastructure and knowledge. Let's say there is going to be a creative token, okay, for artists and so on. They will have higher voting powers towards that direction, but they will have less voting power towards the direction of what kind of, server shall we use. okay, because they don't have the knowledge, the technical knowledge to make that decision. Therefore, they should have less voting power. And while on creative decision, they have much more understanding, passion, skin in the game, and they should have more voting power on that side. That is the idea. I think there is a third question. No, did I launch the token? So yes and no, in the sense that we are on the DevNet, and that token is active, even though I'm restructuring the DAO at the moment. As part of the model, how will be? So how you earn those tokens? So there are different tokens get earned from a contribution, but also the res token will be shared as a reward. Okay, so when you do an action and could be including us be present at these calls, okay, you should receive a contribution token, okay, to be part of this call, and some res token as a reward for it, a financial reward, let's call it, even though there is no a value at the moment connected to the token because there is no a liquidity pool. But the goal here at this early stage is to do the distribution of the token. So we need the community to own the token so they can use it and create also stability. A financial system needs the token to be inside the community, otherwise it's unstable and it's not value. Okay, so first part is reward for the contribution with those two different kind of tokens, and have the token distributed so can be used by the community. Pierre, I don't know if that's how you pronounce, but Pierre, did I answer your question? Do you want to know more? Actually, are you still here? Oh, no, you're still here.
Yes, that answered my question. Thank you. I will take a look at the white paper, and I'm sure you have the tokenomics in the white paper. So, but yes, that answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah, and if I could add, it took me a little while to catch up with Manolo on the structure, but I just put something there. If you look at the contribution model, this is a software technique, the three amigos, right? Essentially, if you're in the software world, you have a kind of a business guy, a tester guy, and a developer guy. It's the small team structure, the agile method structure, right? You get a small group together for deployment. And so your contribution tokens are in those realms, right? So you don't have to be a developer, right? You can be just involved in testing, involved in design. And I mean, frankly, now that we have, if you get geared up properly with the right AI system and the right coding stack, like Manolo has and like I have, you can contribute. It does take time to learn. I mean, you don't know what you don't know. If you've never heard GitHub, if you don't understand checking code in, checking code out, branches and how to work up to speed, right? Because you do this correctly, but you can do it. And you also, if you have an AI that's tied in properly, you can contribute. So basically you got to get geared up, learn how to wield your AI properly, and then you can add into the team.
And thank you, Tom. Talking about contribution, now that you said this thing, if you don't know things, learning is a contribution, okay? So, and to learn, we have the Tuesday call, which is the Academy, Resonant Academy, where we meet and we learn from each other. And we recognize a lot of different way of contributing. The idea is not to follow, what is out there, what is being imposed over us, where there is some contribution that is gain a lot of value and some other contribution are not recognized. Okay, no, we recognized a lot of different contribution and we try to make it as fair as possible. And as a community, we can change what the value of those contributions, the amount of recognition of this contribution. But to me, learning is a contribution. To me, creating art is a contribution. And therefore, we need to find a way to measure those kind of contribution. And instead of having people pay for learning, we pay them for learning. Okay, that is the idea. Instead of making artists and people that do experimentation working, as pioneers starve, we actually recognize their role as you are discovering the new, you are creating new trends, and your journey is important even though it doesn't monetize. Okay, we find a way to recognize that kind of a contribution, and we support it.
Manolo, could I add to that?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry if I keep knocking you off course here. Just let me know. So going along with that, so I'm a software engineer. Other than I'm kind of boring, right? I don't have musical any other real skills. I just love software. But when I find a friend, if you look at that image that I sent there, I find a friend who has a wireless business, or he has some other subject matter expertise, like my other friend has expertise. So, hey, can you write a horse site and et cetera, et cetera? I'm like, sure. And he tells me what he needs. And then I go out and I use my AI to do a full market analysis of everything. And I build exactly what he wants. And then I build an AI horse chat. I fill it with I make it an aquarian expert, and he's sitting there chatting with it. And he's like, yeah, this is great. I couldn't have done that without my friend. So he's not really a programmer, but he is the key contributor because I don't even have the idea, right? So that Three Amigos approach, if you're jumping in, and I'll give you another example. Sal has a lot of things cooking right now, and I have no clue how he figured all this out. It's brilliant. I'm giving him a big head. His head's getting bigger while I'm talking. But what he's doing is brilliant. And so we spend a few hours. I'm like, hey, man, you need to do this, this, and this. And he's like, oh, I didn't even know that. And I just help him out a little bit. But his idea is the fire, right? I'm just helping out a little bit. So if we help each other and put our intellects together and put our tools together, we can create a lot. And you see those 8 applications on the left side. One of them is Grit Raise, which is a fundraising opportunity for my wrestling team. These kids, I don't want them selling candy bars, so we're going to have my friend who has a wireless business, and he's selling Spectrum internet. We've hooked the kids up so they can go to the store and basically sell internet. And Spectrum is giving away $300 and a free phone and a free year of service. So they're buying the market. So these kids can make $300 a pop for their gear. And that's our fundraiser this year. So I connected my friend who's, in the wireless with my wrestling team, and I built 2 apps with it with my augmenter. Those are all production grade apps right there. All of them. And so, but I couldn't have done it. The point was I couldn't have done it without the ideas, friends. And so being here and contributing just by talking, telling us what you're doing, what your goals are, what your ambitions are, what your visions are, that is contributing. Thanks.
Sorry, I was muted. I love it. So I would say, Tom, you have a question in the chat, and while you're reading the question, I'm gonna add something about this. Okay, at the moment, because this is the phase where we are building the software. Okay, so coding feels like the most important thing. Okay, because it's all about building this app so we can then use it. But in reality, let's call it in business term, what we are building here as an asset is the community itself. Okay, so the community is the biggest power that we have. So building community, contributing in holding the community together and building and so on, that is the most important thing, because software in somehow AI is going to get better and better, and one day we're just going to say, just build the ResonantOS, and it's going to be better than what we build now. Okay, so the software is something that is going to always change and have their own story. Okay, it's important, extremely important, because it's how we connect to each other, how we work together, how we recognize our contribution in a fair way. But it's something that is going to change, while the community is the real value. Okay, so that is where we need to pay attention, because also in the video that I was talking today, that is the thing. So we have this narrative of building this solopreneur that was going to do this $1 billion dollars company together with AI. Okay, that is the dream that they give us. In reality, that is completely a false perspective. What we need to build is the 1 billion community. Okay, that is the real value. It's not the money; it's people that value. Okay, that is the direction that we should go. So if we start thinking those terms, code is important because it's the tool that we use to connect and work together. But the contribution, the real contribution is be able to build the community, build the sub-communities, build those, how you call it, Tom, the three amigos, this kind of a
The
tribe.
tribe. It's a tribe.
The tribe
Tribe.
of three amigos that works together, okay, and keep building and improving and doing experimenting and so on, helping each other. So the idea of contribution at the moment is really based on the software just because it's the first step. Okay, but it's all the rest. Those calls that we are doing, okay, they're amazing. Okay, this is knowing each, learning from each other, opening our mind and see the possibilities. Okay, on my video, I'm suggesting something that the impossible. Okay, I'm saying we are gonna build something that is much better, much more powerful of those corporations, and feels like incredible, impossible. Okay, and slowly, it started to feel like okay, maybe we can. Michelle, you have your hands up. Tell me, share.
Hello, Manolo. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Michelle. Hey. Hey, buddy.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I have some exciting thing to share with you guys. And actually, I think this is very accurate to what you, Tom, say and Manolo about how we can always improve the system, changing the system, and how we build the foundation. So I've been thinking how we can, how I can me contribute to to build the foundation as a designer, because I've been trying to work with you guys, but the thing is I always behind somehow because you're developing like very fast, but this is normal because the coding is like developed very fast, and so I was thinking I need to be like in sync with you guys. So I was thinking to adapt a new concept for the way I'm going to build the design for Resonant OS. So I was thinking about the atomic design. I don't know if you guys know something about atomic design. I have something for you.
Yeah,
Can
tell us.
can I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how to share.
On the
Okay,
bottom, you have a share.
that's
Yes.
it. Got it. Okay, this is actually, this is the first time I use a notebook LM. This is very fun products and very easy to do. So I really like enjoy. It was like really quick to do it. So this is a really brief introduction to atomic design. So the first thing atomic design just want to respond is about how, like I say, we, the designer team, we start to design from the developer who already finished a product application. But the thing is, the time we finish designing, the application already update is already like always changing. Like OpenClaw always change over all the time, always updating. So this is like a internal loop. I was always thinking how we can integrate the loop as a designer to not only the design but the whole process, because I've been like realized recently, since I've been working with the agentic since the last 3 months, all my way to work every day has changed every day. So I need the new tools because like the old tools doesn't work for me anymore. So you need to adapt and really to adapt fast, but always updating. So the thing is, with atomic design, you need to think about atomic design, how you can destruct every page, every system as the atoms. Even you decide and you define what your atoms. Even from the atoms, you can use like a molecule, organism, template, and pages. For example, atoms is like, as a designer, atoms for me is like a single button. just define a single button. Then if I had a button with an input, then it's going to be maybe a search bar. So this is the molecule. Then with this molecule, I can organize different molecule and make like organism, like a website with the logo, navigation, search bar. And so on, you can have a template and page. You can see like how we can, from the atom to the whole entity, we can build. And of course, this is the thing, the great thing about the system is if we change only one atom, it updates everything, all page, everything, because it's only have like a source of truth, like a SSOT. So we can actually define everything we want, like from screen-based clarity, depends of people. If you're using like a mobile, a desktop, whatever you size in, maybe you have we can define like in advance for you which typography work best. But of course you can change it, but they always have a golden rule for the typography contrast, which the system itself will follow. Like for example, like this, like the pink on white. As a UX designer, UI designer, this is not like really like not recommended to do it, because it can be like difficult for some people to read. So you can see how we can define like each element. This is a brief skip because this is not the most part I want to talk about it, because this is just the idea of atomic design.
Hey, Michelle, this is brilliant. Like I've done a lot of UI UX work in my life, and
Yeah.
the way you've structured this, and the way you're organizing it in this, kind of bottom up, elemental up into the final UI presentation layer. I love the way you're doing it, and the fact that you're breaking it down into contrast design, and you're surfacing all the things that you really don't even think about. This is granular level design. Man, we got to get this on the site. Because we need help.
Yeah.
This is cool.
This is exactly that's why I say this is actually I think I'm on topic with you guys, because the final goal is to link with the developer, because as you can see in my screen, like I'm in a design team, but I need to connect with you guys, the developer team. So we can start to make like you can see the BEM, the block element modifier. So we can create the basic together. Even I can align the name of my token with already like I don't know, React or any programming conventional name you use, to make like a perfect bridge between the way I name of my components and the way you use the function to use the same component. Did you follow what I meant?
Absolutely. Let's get together, and we'll take the latest repo, and we'll grind on it and come up with.
Yeah, I've been doing some work that goes directly in this direction, so maybe we could share a lot, and maybe I can help you and you can help me, and we can maybe merge the ideas. But this is really good and something that I've been thinking about too. So I already have the way that this becomes specification automatically, and my agent or any agent code could get the spec and implement after doing this. So maybe we can unify, and you provide the design intelligence, and I provide the software intelligence, and we can make this happen.
Yes, exactly, Vladimir. But this is perfect actually, because I need help, because this is like I already have the blueprint. I can share with you, because like I say, the atomic design is just one concept. So I push the concept like to to the final goal. So my final goal is to make like a self-adapting agentic dashboard. So it's going to, like Manolo just, this is perfect introduction because Manolo said just before, like Resonant OS going to build itself. So for me, this is the goal like I want to reach. So I already have a plan how we can have different phases how we can follow. I already start to do it because the thing is, uh, I realized we didn't, I couldn't think the system as a screen because this is the way I've been designing for years from every different domain. And I was always with my team thinking about each screen, each step of the system, of the user interaction. But the thing is now it's like it's not about screen because the more you work with AI, the less you have screen. So you need to work like in a different way. So that's why I've already everything planned. But if you guys allow me, I made a video. So if you bear with me, we can watch the videos. It's not so long, it's 7 minutes. But I will send you everything as a PDF I have
Maybe
right now.
Michel, play the video at 1.5 speed, so it's gonna be shorter.
Yeah,
Yes,
And
okay.
please.
Okay,
And
okay.
while you're loading that up, so one of the things that I've been working on, I haven't even got to it because I'm doing other stuff. But when the agent speaks, I want him on my where I have him sitting on one of my computers. I want him to be able to surface a browser based. Like if I say, "Hey, show me a chart," it can show me a chart, or "Hey, show me that code." Like I want him to have a surfaceable space that he can bring up anything into a window. So he's like, it's basically a whiteboard for the AI to talk to me, right?
Exactly, exactly. This is the idea, Tom. You just get my vision because like something pop up, like just something like OS changing. So you just ask for the browser, find the browser appear and make space for the browser. So and you can have the permanent dashboard or element you want to keep it all the time. But you
Yeah,
can have something who's always changing, not defined, always moving.
yeah. We all have more than one screen now. Does
Yeah,
anyone work on one screen?
exactly.
I
Maybe.
do actually.
Maybe but is it like this big, Manolo?
I got this. No, I have a second screen, but the second screen is just for the AI. I work on one screen only.
Yeah, I mean, but that you're functionally doing what we're talking about, right? You got one
Yeah,
screen
yeah.
you're working on, and then my AI is over here. And if you ask him something, it's over there. You're looking over there for the interaction, right?
It, yeah, yeah, exactly. Michelle,
Should I play the video?
yeah, yeah, go ahead. But at the moment we don't see it, so maybe it's
Oh,
hidden. I
really?
don't know if you're sharing the whole. Maybe you're
Yes, I
just
am.
sharing the
I am.
presentation.
Let me. Well, you cannot see.
You need to stop sharing and sharing again, basically.
Okay.
And you choose what you're sharing specifically. You could say full share the whole screen or whatever thing you're sharing.
You should see,
You,
yeah,
you should see. Yeah, can you see?
yeah, Atomic AI dashboard. We see,
Yes, exactly.
There you go. I see it.
but we can't hear anything if he's talking.
You can hear.
No, no, it's a problem when you share. You need to allow the sound to be shared as well. So you need to stop sharing and then when you open the sharing thing, somewhere there is you need to click share audio.
Optimize for sharing video. Okay. Shops. Can you see now?
Yeah, try.
architectural blueprint for a self-updating autonomous dashboard within an AI operating system. We are talking about a user interface that actually builds, tests, and evolves itself. Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to imagine an AI operating system not just as a static piece of software, but, well, more like a massive, living brain. It's this incredibly complex entity managing a whole fleet of agentic AI workers. Now, a system that dynamic, it needs a continuously adapting nervous system to interface with it. You can't just slap a traditional hard-coded dashboard onto something that's constantly learning and shifting. No way. The interface itself actually has to be alive. So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to take a super fast-paced journey through this architecture. We'll start with the AI dashboard challenge, then look at the design token contract, map out the human AI blueprint, meet the agent team, and finally wrap up with the living system loop. We're taking you from initial human intent all the way to a totally hands-off autonomous ecosystem. Let's go. Starting off with section 1, the AI dashboard challenge, and building a harness-agnostic UI. All right, so what's the core problem we're trying to solve here? Basically, how do you build a user interface for an ever-changing fleet of AI workers? The constraints are incredibly strict. First, it absolutely has to be harness-agnostic, meaning it needs to work on any orchestration gateway and with any LLM provider. Second, it's got to be built on atomic principles, which we'll get into in a sec. And third, the ultimate goal, it must be autonomously maintained by specialized AI agents. We're trying to step entirely away from static design decay and create a UI that evolves totally without us. Moving right into phase 0, section 2, the design token contract, the single source of truth. Okay, so before any AI agent writes even a single line of component code, the system requires a token layer. Think of this as the system's DNA. It's just one single file, tokens.json, that defines every visual atom. I'm talking colors, spacing scales, typography, like maybe inter for data and poppins for headings, shadows, border radii, the whole shebang. And listen, here is the absolute unbreakable rule of this architecture. Absolutely no raw visual values are allowed in the codebase, ever. No agent can create a component that references a raw hex value. They must strictly use these tokens. This contract is what guarantees a perfectly unified visual language across the whole system. So how does this token DNA actually work? Well, it fuels what we call cellular growth, using a strict 5-layer atomic hierarchy. We start tiny, with atoms, simple stuff, a status dot or an input field. Those then combine into molecules, like an agent card header that holds a name, a model type, and that status dot. Then, molecules form organisms, like an entire fleet overview grid. Those get placed into templates, which give us our layout skeletons. And finally, boom, we hit pages, the live dashboard populated with real, actual agent data. It's systematically scaling from the tiniest dot up to the grandest view. Next up, section 3, the human AI blueprint. This is our phase 1 collaboration. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the human element. This is actually the one and only phase where humans and machines actively collaborate to lock in version 1.0 of the design system. You have the human lead designer stepping in to set the design intent, basically defining what information needs to be shown and setting the whole emotional register of the interface. And right alongside them, the UI designer agent takes that intent and spits out validated prototypes using material design foundations. It's a real tag team effort. To actually pull this collaboration off, the architecture relies on a very specific tooling stack. They use Penpot for design, mainly because it's self-hostable and plays really nicely with agents. Development relies on React and Tailwind, but the absolute non-negotiable tool here is Storybook. Storybook acts as the living documentation that bridges that gap between human intent and agent execution. It enables the visual regression testing loop, which is critical for the AI agents to safely iterate on code. Meanwhile, there's an open-source tool called Style Dictionary that's working behind the scenes to transform those foundational tokens into actual code. All right, once version 1.0 is locked in, the humans literally step back. Let's look at section 4, meet the agent team, the delegation chain. This is where the magic really kicks in. Zooming out slightly, we have a specialized automated workforce taking over. Each agent has a single specific responsibility. You've got the UI designer, which is the only agent allowed to touch that token DNA. The component engineer builds out the React components, but get this, look at the QA gatekeeper. This agent is basically the strict bouncer of the system. It enforces WCAG accessibility rules, checks contrast ratios, runs regression tests, literally nothing gets merged without its approval. Then there's the intelligence agent, acting as the watchful eyes, monitoring the AI OS runtime to see if any new interface elements are needed. And all of them are coordinated by the orchestrator with a creative director agent ready to spin up custom assets on the fly. And this brilliantly illustrates that delegation chain in action. You have these highly specialized agents coordinating around a central architecture, and they do it without stepping on each other's toes. They strictly communicate via the OS's inter-agent messaging system, just seamlessly handing off tasks from design to build, right through to testing. So, how do they stay coordinated? The repository relies on GitHub Actions. It's essentially the system's nervous system. Let's rapid fire through the 3 main workflows. First, token sync automatically regenerates CSS variables the second the design tokens change. Second, visual regression grabs snapshots of the UI on every pull request. It acts as an automated blocker to stop any visual defects from infecting the main branch. And third, deploy Storybook constantly publishes the living documentation. This highly automated pipeline is exactly what keeps the agents disciplined and the codebase totally pristine. Which leads us straight into the final phase, section 5, the living system loop, the continuous lifecycle. So, the crucial point is that this dashboard is not a static app. It constantly pulls the orchestration gateway for live, real-time data. And when the system needs to evolve, like, say, a brand new type of AI agent joins the fleet, this 6-step loop just fires up completely autonomously. Watch this. The intelligence agent detects the change. The orchestrator assigns the task. The UI designer writes the spec. The component engineer builds the code. The QA gatekeeper approves it. And boom, continuous integration deploys it live. Human touchpoints are minimized purely to escalation. Literally, if a component is rejected 3 times, then, and only then, does a human get an alert. Zooming all the way out to the macro view for just a second, this entire architecture operates on a fundamental principle from atomic visual engineering. It's captured perfectly right here. Design systems are continuous ecosystems. A static style guide decays the moment it's published. By handing the maintenance over to an agentic loop governed by super strict atomic rules, this architecture basically creates a self-sustaining digital forest. It never decays, it just continuously adapts. It's honestly a massive paradigm shift in how we approach software development and user interfaces. We are essentially handing the machines the blueprints to build their own control panels, which leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought for you to ponder today. If a static style guide decays the moment it's published, and we now have the blueprint for autonomous maintenance, what else should we let the machines maintain for us? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this sparks some incredible ideas for your own architectures. Catch you next time.
That's about
This
the
is funny
scariest video
because
I have ever watched.
Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing.
Enjoyed
It's revolutionary.
That. Quite interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I love it. I want to see it in action, but far out, I'm afraid. Well, I'm not afraid of it, but like that's like let's just all cut ourselves out of a job sort of concept. So that's great.
Weirdly enough,
why you are afraid?
Yeah, some of the concepts I'm actually working on, believe it or not. I mean, I know Michael was mentioning that he was needing like help from devs. Some of what he was was concepting, I've already built, in fact. So it's kind of interesting.
I think we're all really working on some of these concepts. You take little pieces of it, but what I really enjoyed out of that video was watching the idea of like having each part of the UI start like little pieces, and they just grow and form on each other, and then create like one unified dashboard based on all of the little elements that are built up of it. I was really quite impressed with that. So I'd love to see that sort of thing start to come into action. Yeah,
very impressed.
Coding this guy is going to be challenging, but it's going to be a great thing when it's made.
Yeah, Mr. Geist, can you jump in with us when we have this meeting to talk about this? If you could, if you've already gone down this path, Michel's he's way far ahead of me.
I've been building a lot of it, and like over the last week, especially with the the different parts of the agents. I mean, obviously, like Samuel just mentioned, we've all jumped to the logical conclusion and have actually been building it all ourselves, maybe in slightly different ways. But we already came to the same conclusion. It's kind of interesting, and if we all get together, I reckon only something good will come from it. I will take part, Tom. I'll take part.
Awesome. Yeah, the need is driving the invention. We all see it, and some of us have thoughts on it, and you guys are already a little bit ahead. If we can apply this will it will open up a lot of things for us.
Michel, amazing, and you sold it. Everybody loves it. Okay, so
thank you. It's just actually this is like for years of experience, because like more than 10 years of experience in the corporation I've been working. So the way we've been working, it's been like years I've been trying to people to work on the atomic design, because every time they ask me to design an application, even 3 months later, they break it, something is broken, I have to do it again, the same thing I was working 3 months ago. For me, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why, for me, this is something is not recently I've been working on. This is like, for me, this is the ultimate goal to build as a designer, even like a software.
Amazing. Really, really good. Sorry, can you stop sharing the screen?
Yes, I've been Sorry, it's like
maybe I can overshare.
Can you stop?
Let me see.
Because for me, I'm not sharing anymore. Wait.
Yeah, now you start sharing private data.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I can share my screen and it should take over.
There's a small button at the bottom, Michelle. It's always hiding, and it's
overriding him.
Is he sharing mine now?
Yeah, we see you.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing it. Hopefully, no, it's still Michel.
Sorry, it doesn't, because the share setting.
You should, on the floating panel on the top, there should be a red one. You know, the one that was annoying you all the time? Below it has a red thing that says stop share.
Okay. Did I stop? No.
Stop sharing. I found it. I found it. I can stop it.
Thank you, because I couldn't find it.
No worries.
That's poor UI design on their part. Blame Zoom.
Yeah, I do.
There's a lot to blame on Zoom. Yeah.
All right, we have 7 minutes left. Anyone else want to say something? Even you guys that are new, feel free to participate, okay? Any kind of feedback, anything you have in mind, even feelings about this code, this community, anything is a way of supporting, helping us understanding how to improve and get better.
Yeah, I was just gonna talk a little bit about what I put onto Discord. I'm working with my agent. Again, I'm not a coder, but I'm trying to get through this because I could really use it. Breaking the Resonant OS harness into back end and front end independent components to where I can run the front end on Windows. Finally, this morning, it seems to be having the web and the GUI point at the same back end. I just finally, during this call, got at least Minimax working on both, having to only set it up on one. So I'm getting closer. Once I get that working, I'll let everybody know. But this would allow you to install Resonant OS backend on one machine and then access that through the GUI through Tailscale to access that backend. For me, it's, I have Resonant OS, I have OpenClaw, I have Hermes, I have all of that running on a Raspberry Pi, but I do most of my work on a Windows 11 machine. And I still want to be able to play with Resonant OS and use it while I'm on Windows 11. This allows me to do that without having to use PyConnect or SSH or something else. So don't know if it'd be useful to anybody else, but
definitely useful. Definitely very useful, Greg.
It's very timely because right now the next step for me is I've got a cloud instance and a local instance. I need to be able to catch both, right? And also have a phone instance, and I'm going to have a Google Glasses instance. So I need to be able to hit everything. It's right in line. So we need to get together and merge this up.
Yeah. Once I get it working in my environment, once it's working here, my AI pushed it, and it shouldn't have. It just got excited. It was like, it's working. I'm like, no, it's not. But anyhow, it's a work in progress, but it is making progress, just slow.
I overwrote main the other day. My agent overwrote it. Yeah, and then
that sucks.
Don't feel bad. I fixed it, Manolo. Don't panic. I fixed it. Don't panic.
Yeah. That's crazy. I open sourced my coding harness thing. I have the campaign runner, so it just automates creating a campaign, audit and receipts and task propositions. And you just download it and point it at the repo you want to use. I also have my code base, the Codexify code base. I isolated just like a core, and got rid of some of my personal stuff. So it's sanitized for public use. So you guys I'll put the link down, I guess, in the Discord, for people to go look at that. And you could just inspect it, check it out, use it, look at the structure to see how I've been coding. There's a lot to learn. And I also have another coding based thing. It's like a book, like a manual. I call it the prompt Nomicon. And it's just a distillation of a lot of different workflows I have. So I'll just post the links for all three of those things. They're free, and just check it out. But there's resources for people to use, and hopefully I could help somebody learn something new.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Chris. Anyone else want to share? I see there is a lot of action in the chat. Thank you for this double layer of communication. And there is a lot of other new people that joined during the call. I didn't realize there is Zsolt or Zsolt and Mr. Samsung, I guess, or Mrs. Samsung. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, Zsolt, you were talking on the introduce yourself on the Discord. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey.
So
Hello.
I found you on YouTube just a couple of days ago, and I joined. I was curious about the group because I really liked how you talked about all this technology, and it's like the passion in how you expressed yourself regarding this tech was very different from other people's YouTube channels and blah blah blah. Anyway, I started following you a bit, and I was interested what's going on in this Discord group. Usually, this is the only Discord group I ever joined. Like in
Nice.
So yeah, a little bit about myself. I'm doing custom WordPress websites since like more than 15 years, which is like it feels too much time spent
I
in
love
this.
WordPress. I love WordPress. I've done so many. It's like back of the hand. I love it.
After the 200 website, I lost count. So I was like, yeah, okay,
Nice.
I don't know
Nice.
anymore.
Enough.
But I feel that, yeah. So I mainly do super custom websites, so not off the shelf. So like really getting to the guts of it. But these days, I'm trying to shift a bit with AI because I feel like also in my intro on Discord, I feel that we are getting very close to become goose farmers, all of us, if we don't go on and grab this tech wave that is happening with AI, and especially I bet on local AI. The rest is will be for consumers, but local AI, I bet on this, that this will be very extremely valuable knowledge when the rest will be automatized anyway, because everything is in templates. So it's just a robot. It's just time until the AI just learns everything that was already templatized, and everything is in frameworks. Like Next.js is now, AI is with closed eyes. It can spit out huge Next.js apps, which require 2-3 front-end devs in the past. So yeah, it's coming for us. But local AI, I think,
promising.
That I think there will be some gold to dig there.
Yeah, if I could add to that, you're right on, right? And the thing is, they can't catch the gingerbread man at this point because the cat is out of the bag. We know what they've done, and we have computers and they have computers, right? And it's like Manolo said, like we can go one direction and we can go the other direction. And I think if we just all turn our backs and start going over here, we'll see what happens. Like I'm an ant, right? I'm just an ant walking around on the earth. It's really big. Can't really tell what's going to happen. I'm not in control of everything, but I know which direction I'm going.
And they say like, oh, AI is going to take your job as a developer. Well, not directly AI, but somebody using AI for sure. So
hey, it's making me faster, and I'm not taking anybody's job. I'm helping to build stuff. It's about what your intent is.
We'll see. It's
so agreed. So agreed.
It's great future. I think it's never been a better time to live open source revolution, but it's very scary times at the same. So
was
one day at a time.
So was Microsoft and Linux. If you look at that history, if you're a software historian, I would go read a book like Rebel Code and you listen to what Stallman and those guys were dealing with. I mean, it's fascinating history, and history repeats. Here we are again, right? So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's thank you for sharing and be part of this community. And the more you participate, the more as a community, we learn and improve. So feel free to join our calls. We have calls basically Monday to Friday, different theme for different calls. You can go on Discord, and there is a channel called a weekly call info and links. You find the different kind of calls. They are all at the same hours. So feel free to join. you know, this thing about my passion sometimes it make me laugh because I don't know if it's me be Italian. That is the thing. Okay, we Italian are just we are really passionate about things, or maybe it's a little bit me, or maybe both, or maybe I don't know. But I'm glad to go through because I'm really passionate about this. So it's all real, and it's happening. All right, we could end here, and we should end here, but there is a couple of new people here. If they want to introduce themselves, Samsung and Hans, I think. I don't know, Hans, if I know you, because it's without image, I don't know anybody. Oh, hi,
Hello.
Samsung.
Sorry. Yeah, I am. Let me.
You're muted, Samsung. You muted yourself.
Yeah, I just told my Alexa to
Okay.
highlight.
I'm jealous. The Samsung Ultra is nice. That's a nice phone. It's got a great camera.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I am Riyad from Tunisia. I just joined this community. I am happy to. I was very. I like your presentation of things. You have a zoom out of many a huge domain right now with artificial intelligence, agentic yeah, and so on. I like how you look to things, how you develop a big picture with simple words and simple phrases. Thank you very much for your efforts and for this moment, good moments, scientific moments. I am very happy to be live right now with you. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you all
Thank you.
thank you for all participants as well.
Thank you. I really appreciate. And a
Absolutely.
pleasure to have you here. Again, for everybody that is new, feel this is your community. You're not guest. You're not. This is yours. Okay. This is. You need to leverage the opportunity we have here. We are almost reached the 1,000 people inside this community. Remember to treat it as a community that is yours. So take care about it, look after it, help a building, and take advantage of this, group of amazing minds here. So collaborate, contribute with each other, get to know each other, support each other, create business together. That is the place. Okay, do it with respect, align with the manifesto, and and use it. Use it because it's yours. So I would we can stop the recording here and say
Just
bye
one
to
thing.
the audience.
Just one
Guys,
thing
Yeah.
thank you
before.
so much. Nice
Hold
meeting
on,
you guys.
wait, Chimo, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there was a lot of interest on the Friday automation. So remember we're gonna have it this Friday at 8. The link is in the same place that Manolo mentioned before.
Oh, one more thing, Manolo. Sorry.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to have a addition to the Resonant OS page /community, right? And we'll have our place where we have all of these meetings, all of the links, contacts, and if I can, I'm going to replace Zoom because I'm tired of Zoom.
Cool.
So